Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang at 5:15 on the West Coast on the first day of daylight saving. Supposedly, we're getting daylight and night earlier than we expect because we have just skipped an hour. So where it would have been 4:10 yesterday, 24 hours ago, it is now 5:10. It's only been 23 hours since 5:10 a.m. yesterday. So today it is now 5:10 today. How did that make sense? That made sense. Yes, it did make sense. Let's see. So, with morsels of a thought, number 1528 from California, we are going to show you Jen Du Plessis's book, Launch How to Take Your Business to New Heights. Jen Du Plessis, America's Mortgage Mentor, forward by Michael J. Mayer, M.A.H.E.R., The Seven Levels of Communication. So we are on page 2. Where is my little smart bookmark here? All right. I want to put on my glasses and see if it works better that way. Let's take a look. Ying to your success, Lady Jen. Okay, to read 4 morsels of a thought, and her signature, and my glasses. Yeah, my glasses. Okay, all right. I believe, page 2. I believe you should try to learn from anyone who can help your mortgage practice grow. Learn from loan officers who are doing millions and millions in loans every month, year after year. Learn from loan officers who are new in the business and can bring some fresh ideas to us veterans. Learn from real estate agents, title companies, and other referral partners such as financial planners and attorneys. Work to understand their perspectives because these partners play such a huge role in your success as an originator. Now, good morning, John Clark. I'm seeing you somewhere. Good morning, John Clark. Good morning, Tara Darnell Roberts. Tara Donnell Roberts. What I want you to know is that I'm just an ordinary person. I'm grateful that I've been able to do some extraordinary things in my career in this business, and I know you can too. Allow me to share my experience and knowledge to spark or respark your practice. We're about to fuel things up with an incentive. We're about to fuel things up with an intensity like you've never seen. You're going to reach heights that you haven't imagined before now. And if not now, when? As you read this book, act on the ideas right away. If you're reading in the evening at home, write down something that you'll act on the next day. If you're reading on the weekend, write down 5 ideas that you will act on one day after the other for the next 5 days. Stop waiting and talking about your future success. The time is now. I went to, oh, okay, hold on a second. I am going to remove the glasses. I don't know. Every day is different. Every day is different. Sometimes I need them. Sometimes I absolutely can't have them. I don't know. Morsels of a thought of wisdom are about getting the wisdom to you from people who have it. And knowing the right thing to do is wisdom, as the fortune cookie said. And actually doing it is called virtue. And I want to bring the world into a period of more virtue. A period of more virtue. Currently, we are not aligned with the Tao. Currently, as we read recently, we are not aligned with the Tao. We have chaos and robbery. So let's get more virtue into the world. We'll do the right things to do. And sometimes, I think it was Ecclesiastes who said, um, there is a time to something, and there's a time to grow and a time to kill, and a time to Um, and do not seek fame. How does that go together? I think I had both things on the wall at the same time one time. I don't know. Anyway, never mind. Anyway, wisdom. Okay. And if not now, when? If you read this book, act on the ideas right away. If you're reading it, everything the time is now. I want to shock you into action. If you're not moving forward in this business, you're moving backward because things change so much and so constantly. You can't stand still. So take the ideas you'll find in these pages, act on them right away, and work on them consistently day after day. You'll see a huge difference in your practice and your life. She's talking about putting energy into your work. And I absolutely want to hear about your successes. When you use a nugget or an idea from this book and it helps create a spark in your practice, tell me about it. Tell me what you did. Tell me how you applied the idea to your life and your practice, and tell me how it worked. Email me at success@kineticssparkconsulting.com. Let's get started, shall we? Chapter 1 hyphen 2. Segment 2. Returning what I've learned. Jim Rohn says, and I know she was quoting Jim Rohn when she said, if not now, when, right? Jim Rohn says, and we all know that, right? The big idea. Awaken the spark that is within you so you can make your life grand. We all have two choices. We can make a living or we can design a life. Woo! I think Jim Rohn was the one who also said, in those days, you would go home, kick your dog, and then sit down and watch TV or something. You remember that? This was in the 1950s, and life was different then, and standards were different then, and how we treated animals was different then. So we can make a living or we can design a life. From then on, people started making things what made it possible for us to have what we have today. We owe our forebears what we have now. We owe our previous engineers the shelter real estate we have now. We owe the civil engineers the buildings that we sell now. All of these things come from our forebears. We have to appreciate what was there before, and then we will be able to stand on ground, solid ground. That's how I say. Now, Jean du Plessis says, to start us off, I feel the need to tell you more about my why. I've come to believe that our lives are marked by 3 stages. First we learn, then we earn, then we return. For the first 20 or so years, we learn. We mold ourselves into who we will become. Then we take that knowledge and who we are out into the real world, and we earn and produce for 20, 30, 40, or more years. We climb the provincial ladder of success. At some point during the mature stage of that earning period, we realize it's time to return, time for us to pass on our experience to others so they can grow and move and they can grow and improve on what we've accomplished. They can grow and improve on what we've accomplished. That agrees with what I've said. I've always lived by the premise that every day I can and should help or change someone else's life, even if by the smallest of gestures. So it's natural for me to want to return what I've learned and experienced in the mortgage lending industry. See, that's what I like to do. Morsels of a thought. Morsels of a thought of wisdom, day by day, a little at a time. Same thing. Well, almost. What I hope to do, almost is not the same thing as same thing. What I hope to do, says the author, is to inspire each and every one of you reading this book to excel in this industry so you can live a life of quality for many decades. As you pursue happiness, I want you to be happy along the way. And I want to help you reach new heights, heights that you previously never even imagined you would reach. Now, the pursuit of happiness is part of our preamble to our Constitution. To our Declaration of Independence, when in the course of human events. Now, 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 you might not believe you can reach those heights right now, but I'm absolutely certain you can. Why am I so confident? Because I've done it. If anyone ever had the deck stacked against them early in life, it was me. I know if I can reach remarkable success, you can be even more remarkable. Jenny who ain't got a penny. When I was a child, my destiny was most certainly not pointed toward success. A rocky, lonely childhood would be an understated way of describing where I started from. I was an only child until I was 13, with parents who fought nearly every day of my childhood. My father was an alcoholic who surrendered his life to the bottle, and my parents' marriage was dysfunctional at best. Many a time my mother forced me to go into a bar to tell my father that it was time to come home, threatening to leave me at the bar if I couldn't convince him. Dad would disappear for weeks at a time while on a drinking binge, and on many occasions I saw my father holding a shotgun to my mother's head. My mother and father worked all the time, but we were still poor and isolated. In contrast, my five uncles were and still are multimillionaires and totally focused on growing their wealth. Even at a young age, I understood that my family was quite different. Don't I feel like I've read this? Don't I feel like I've read this? My uncles had nicknames for all 37 of the first cousins in my generation. To this day, I doubt they realized the profound impact they had on me by tagging me with the nickname Jenny Who Ain't Got a Penny. Can you imagine? Here I was, the poor lonely child of the lowest family on the totem pole, and tagged with a nickname that really cut deep. I remember how upset I would get. I kept a penny in my shoe to show them that, in fact, I did have a penny. It was a small thing, but it helped me feel better about my life. My uncle went so far as to tell me that I was destined to be an alcoholic because it was in my genes. What kind of future was in store for me? I realized that at a young age that failure isn't always about the person. It can simply be about their situation. I resolved to show all of them that I wasn't going to repeat history. I was going to do whatever it took to be successful and perfect in everything. The quest for perfection. I was fortunate enough to live next door to my wonderful grandparents. They were very faithful and took me to church nearly every day. Thanks to them, I developed a strong faith to help propel me during those formidable years. I also started tagging along with my grandparents and all my uncles on their business calls. I helped clean I helped them clean their rental properties and worked at the family flower and garden business as well. I honed my work ethic and began to see what my life would be without what my life would be like without alcohol or the dysfunctional fighting. Learning the value of hard work instilled in me the desire to exceed in everything in an attempt to achieve perfection. Perfection. As a teen, I was a runner up in the Miss Colorado competition. I was also a state champion in tennis and the youngest member of the Colorado Springs Symphony at 16 years of age, playing flute and piccolo. After graduation, I was accepted to Colorado State University in pre-med, though I changed to architecture where I was the only woman in a class of 50 plus students. I was the perfect daughter and never in trouble. Yet none of my efforts mattered because my father still drank and was never involved in anything I did. How much more did a girl need to do to get her parents' attention and acceptance? Family members of alcoholics know that trying to be perfect is the way we think we can get our alcoholic family member to stop drinking. Striving for striving for perfection at a young age is why I still have so much drive in me today. Remember, motivation is an inside job, and out of pain comes purpose. I was on the road to finding my purpose. A purposeful direction on that road came from my husband, Brian. He gave me permission to take care of me, M.E., and not worry about pleasing my parents by attempting perfection. Nice husband. Enter mortgage lending. How did this life then detour into mortgage lending? There I was, just out of college after studying for a degree in architecture design and construction engineering, but not able to find a job in a male dominated industry. My mortgage lending career got underway in March 1983 after a chance interview and a cross country move. It definitely paid off, though. In my first 17 years in the mortgage business, I went from an entry level position to working my way up through sales management and finally to senior executive management. Over the last 17 years, yes, I've been in this industry for just over 34 years. I've worked directly with my clients by originating mortgage loans. I want to see how many years this has been. What year was this one printed in? It should be about the same, I'm sure. And it says 2017. So that means it's been 8 more years. So she's been around there for 42 years. She looks so young. Getting into the origination side of the business, mortgage lending business, was the best decision I ever made. My income tripled, my quality of life expanded, and I showed everyone in my family that I could be successful and that Jenny did have pennies. I also overcame the stigma of this male dominated industry to prove them wrong, too. And I learned well from my uncles. In my 30s, I already owned several properties, was working smart, creating strong relationships, caring for others, and beating the odds by staying married and maintaining a strong faith. That's very interesting. A lot of people can't do that. I should not say it that way. A lot of people don't do that for whatever reason. A lot of people don't happen to do that. It's a better way to frame it because that's the case. And, says the author, I learned well from my uncles. In my 30s, I already owned several properties, was working smart, creating strong relationships, caring for others, and beating the odds by staying married and maintaining a strong faith. Yet, I still strove for that perfection and acceptance I so desired. Even today, I continue to have challenges. I avoid conflict like the plague and attempt to be as perfect as I can be. Therefore, I'm always leaning in to stay engaged in my practice and my personal life. It's what gives me my drive and passion for everything I do. Today, I'm at the top of my game. I've been recognized as one of the top 200 loan officers in the country and am in the top 1% of income earners. I have surpassed $1 billion in total production. Take that, you naysayers. Fueled by passion. Remember the learn, earn, and return stages I mentioned earlier? The return stage is a time that leads to rebirth and growth. It's a time for me to nurture the buds that will spring into something wonderful in the next season. My hope is to fire you with the same passion that I feel for life and for this business, and that one of those wonderful buds that bloom next season will be you. I want to do something right now. I want to change over the book. We're on page 6. The reason I want to change over the book is that this one's got the nice cover. This one has got the other cover, and I'm going to read it from here because 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 my driving force has always been my faith in God. He made me as extraordinary as I am to do extraordinary things while I'm here on earth. I love helping others realize their dreams and achieve success as if they were my own. I sincerely want your life to be as big as you can imagine. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone. Good morning, Tess Hulick. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone but the you of yesterday. We all have the same 24 hours in a day to work with, and it's how you spend those hours touching other people's lives while quietly improving yourself along the way that counts. This is what I do this show for. This is why I teach morsels of thought of wisdom every single day. I'm not teaching you, I'm imparting it. I don't know these things. I'm imparting it from other people. So, in a way, although it teaches you, it's those other people that are channeling. I'm channeling those other people to teach you. So, those people have been teaching you through me, through morsels of a thought, every day for 1,528 consecutive days straight. So, we all have the same 24 hours in a day to work with, and it's how you spend those hours touching other people's lives while quietly improving yourself along the way that counts. I'm going to put it right here, and we'll start here next week with launch. And my pencil is gone. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Everything falls together on the day of spring forward. Okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow, she says as she scrambles things around. And we will see you then. Remember old Kinderhook, the congressman who wanted to make sure everything was done exactly right then? He was one of virtue too. We will say that. Okay? Old Kinderhook. Good night. I mean, I have been awake, but not that long. I did sleep, so it's morning, but it does feel like night because my eyes are so tired. Okay. Have a great day, old Kinderhook.